your instructor? Is that Barbara? Do you have more than one? Who does your dictation? Barbara? Or Miss Dean? Yeah, I would. Okay. Okay, can somebody tell me if this looks good? Does it look okay?
You're exactly sweet. It's just off a little bit. Can I, what would I do? Hold on.
Do you know anything about the practice logs?
There.
Like, is that big? Can we do it like on Friday? Because I mean, you don't have practice log on Wednesday and be like, here's our practice log for the week.
No, it's off outside of class. You should always have some practice outside of class. You guys do practice outside of class,
So
right?
just write it down, the amount of time.
Is there a minimum when you try like for the
Yeah,
practice log?
No. No minimum, no maximum.
I'm not able to even practice outside because my English, this, and then my must. I mean, does the must and all that count at home? Okay.
And also,
Oh, the must counts? Or we practicing?
well, no, the must doesn't count. But if you do other stuff that's in the SAC pack, like maybe one of the jury charges or one of the Q&As or something, keep your notes, and that can count as well.
Do they want us to print out our notes too?
If you have to print them out, but you've got your notes, you don't have to print yours out, right? But, yeah. The notes are very important, you guys. They're very important to read. I can't stress that enough. And it really has something to do with your brain and your fingers and where it comes up on the paper tape as opposed to where the keys are on the machine. So,
No, we've been stressing that.
yeah,
been going really
it's
well.
very important. And another thing, you know, if your software fails or something and you can't use your Eclipse and you have to just type up something like in the old days, you've got to be able to read your trash notes. You just have to. So even if it's trashy, you know, I mean, and that's how we used to do it in the dark ages, didn't we, Grant? Yeah.
Trash was right.
That, you know what's so cool is that girl in the high speed, I can't think of her name, with the fibromyalgia. She does no software. She just reads her notes and then types it in a Word document. It's really impressive. Like, because she knows when she's not feeling good, if she misstrokes, like this finger's hurting, so it's heavy, things like that. I think that's really impressive and inspiring when she can do that.
Yeah, but she should be on the computer though and filling her dictionary. Stuff like that.
Well, yeah, but...
Are you talking about Isabella?
Yeah.
It is Isabella.
Yeah, that she can read her notes that good, that she can just type it out.
That's what I want to get a
Okay, well, let's start with the jury charge. Everybody see that A-okay? I hope this is the right one.
Next week.
Got your cameras. So you'll see on this one, members of the jury, comma. Sometimes it'll be members of the jury, semicolon.
So
I
we
mean,
decided
colon.
that either way, it's fine.
Right.
Okay.
Either way is fine. You'll notice when it says civil case, you do not capitalize civil. It's just kind of a generic term. Any questions on this first page?
Where's the dust at? I can't find the dust. I'm sorry. Is your judge in the fence? Oh, there it is.
Oh, we started to release some of this.
Yeah.
That's why.
Oh, here?
Yeah.
Did you comma and then
I did
thus?
comma, this,
Yeah.
comma. The function, I just kept going.
Yeah, I think it's better this way, because it was kind of be a run-on sentence. But if you did attach it, you would put a semicolon here.
That's okay, right?
Yeah. And always, principals, they're not your pals. When it's a rule, law, it's that LES. If it's your pal, like a principal at school, then it's the PAL.
I looked
Yes.
that word up in the dictionary, and it has, I mean, it says, like the principal idea or whatever.
As an adjective.
Yeah, describing what kind. Now, this, no comma here. In a few moments, the attorneys for the parties will have an option to make final statements.
So glad they put in the apostrophe, both debating on attorneys and parties, I don't know.
To make it possessive, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, each party has an attorney.
Yeah.
So if you have more than one party, you're going to have more than one attorney. Now, of course, I guess you could have co-counsel, but only one attorney is supposed to speak at a time. So yeah, it would be plural. See, I don't know if I would have to put a comma here, right? No comma.
The only case, where is that before?
But the commas that really matter are ones like, well, definitely like this, and in a few moments, comma, with those little introductory clauses, because you just really don't want to over comma it, because that makes it real choppy and hard to read. Any questions on this first page? We'll go to the second page. Now, cross-examine always has the hyphen. Always. Any questions? And here is a series for those commas. Understand the issues, the evidence, and the law. Now, I don't know why this is in a paragraph all by itself. I think that's wrong. I would have just continued and then started with this paragraph. And here again is more of a series. Opinion about the case until you have received the evidence, heard the arguments, and heard the instructions of law. So it's a series of 3. So those commas need to be there. And after a little introductory thing, in other words. Okay, ready? Go on. Cannot Always one word. Any questions? As we go to, where does 140 go?
It goes to the end of stop.
35, right? Did you stop like right around here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm going right down to tell that person that you're on the jury trial. That's okay. I mean, I'm fine with that page. It's right down near the bottom. Just before, after 40.
To 40?
Just after number 4. Oh, 40.
Oh,
Yeah. And then the person.
so 140's, that's too long. For a 140 test? Oh, 160. Oh, okay. Makes sense now. Yeah, because, and these increments are how we do our timing, is what those
Are
are.
they 20s?
In 20s, yeah. All right, any questions? Okay. Literary next. I don't understand this. I think I would have just continued on. And another, this comma, I think should be after the but. In these days is a rare thing, but comma, back then, comma.
Well, I put it before.
Before the but?
Yeah, because but kind of serves like an and. It's a conjunction.
But what about the whole thing, but back then?
Oh, I didn't put then, I didn't put a comma.
Yeah, see, if you have the comma after then, commas just drive me crazy. You could quote me on that.
When in doubt, leave it out.
Exactly. When in doubt, write it out.
You sounded very Canadian. When you don't, leave it out.
That's where it comes from. That's how they catch you.
Here again, here's another little series. We'll discuss the events, listen to the cares and concerns, and then give advice. And this comma should not be there, of course.
Get why after now, comma, today, comma. I don't understand that.
No, that's too many.
Okay, I got marked off mine, but I just didn't understand.
You got marked off on that?
Or is it just because, yeah, I don't understand what I got marked off on. Is it the comma after the,
Yeah, I don't think you got marked on that.
I think how much of this.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
the one.
confused. I don't know why I'm marked off. I guess that's what you're doing.
Yeah, and, you know, if you were marked off on those, you have 3 after.
Okay.
But yeah, that's an
So what
incorrect
would you do?
comma.
What would you do now, comma, today my daughter just graduated from college?
I probably would not have put any commas wasn't in that at all. Now today, my daughter Eve is graduating from college,
Yeah,
or maybe just one after now.
yeah. It's now kind of like the one that was started with dust, comma, it's like an intro.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But yeah, definitely a comma after Eve would be incorrect.
Okay. Is it just because you don't need to split, it's not two different?
Well, this is the subject and this is the verb.
Okay. So
Or what are the new words?
you don't split.
Predicate.
Predicate.
They changed all the wordage since I was in school.
Alright, don't split.
And you know, you've heard to write out 1 through 10, but you can write out the larger words as well. The main thing is to be consistent. You're going to write out 21 in the first paragraph, write out 21 in the third paragraph. Done with this page? Oh, okay, I'll take that as a yes.
Can I ask another comma question?
Yes.
It says doorways, comma, it seems, comma, is where the truth is told. Today, comma, we are gathering at a doorway. I thought today we are gathering at a doorway would be one whole. Why is it today, comma, we are gathered at a doorway?
You would put a comma after doorway?
No, after today. Today, comma, we are gathered at a doorway.
Toward the end of something and the beginning of
I
something
get
else.
thus and then the other one, but I don't understand today.
Well, you know, you could take out that today and you would have a correct sentence there.
Okay, so that's the only way to tell. Was it hot?
No,
Oh.
I just didn't do my nails last time.
Oh. So if you can cover up like one of the very first introductory, whatever, and it's a full sentence, or it's just put a comma? Okay.
And I think, you know, it'd be correct without it as well. Now this is definitely, you do need it here. Of course, if you, doorways is where, that's not correct. Doorways are where. Right? Yeah, there are quite a few commas in here. I would have put a comma. The first thing I want to say is comma, don't be scared. I would have put a comma
I
there.
put a colon.
A colon, yeah. The main thing is to not have incomplete sentences. That's the big deal. Any other questions? I don't know about these dashes here. That's You know what you want to do when you leave this school, but you are not completely sure of what it will be. I would say, comma, how it will work out. Now, I don't know, who does these tests, but don't trust everything you read. Okay, ready? Now, all these commas, why not one after here? I think that is true in my life comma as well. Oh, but I guess you guys are, let's see, are you at 160 on this one too, Grant?
No. I've covered what I need to cover.
Okay. Any questions, anybody? That's a sweet little story though, isn't it?
It is.
All right, Q&A.
You didn't do it?
What?
You didn't do it?
What?
I think you did. So do the higher speeds like a 180 and up, do they test differently? Yes or no?
But you're wondering why they're not in here?
Yeah.
Because they've been doing this for 15, no, a few years. No. And, they just don't want all the, when you first start doing this, you've got a lot more questions than after you've been
Yeah.
doing
They
it
don't want
for-
all the, stuff we're asking.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Are their tests the exact same as what we do, or is it just longer? It's just longer?
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. Because each test is 5 minutes, so if you're testing at 100, that's going to be a lot shorter than if you're testing at 200.
Well, it's cool that it's not like more dense, tons like medical term and thrown in there and
No, y'all get the same tests.
it's awesome.
You'll notice here, there's a period. I think we've discussed this. You can end that with a question mark or a period. The reason for the period is because it's really not a question. They're saying, you better state your name. But they're asking politely, but it really is more of a request than a question. And always a comma, if please, is at the end of the sentence. Always separate that off with a comma.
You know what was funny? And I should have known better because we were given a list of capital names, or proper names. But on the second answer, we live at 2020 Broad Street, here in the city. I wrote here in Mississippi.
Oh, we
That's what I
capitalized
heard.
Mississippi.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Here, Mississippi.
right?
Yeah, I did.
You struck Mississippi, right?
I can't get, okay, this is quite stupid. And I looked at my Stenna dictionary. I couldn't find married. How to stroke it out to save my life.
Which one?
Married?
M-A-E-R-D.
I tried to do
M-A-E-R-D is kissing.
M-A-E-R-D.
It wasn't in my Stenna dictionary. I have a huge dictionary.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't in there.
Yeah, just tuck in that E sound.
Yeah.
But in a phrase like that, you could do R-U-M-D.
Yeah, for are you married?
Not that I've done it, but.
Oh, I use that
No,
one all
I
the time.
didn't do it, but, you know.
I use that one all the
That's
time.
what
define
happens
that?
is that you
Huh?
begin to start thinking about stuff like that.
Did you define that for yourself, or is that Mark's? Are you?
No, I mean, I was, Mark and I learned the same theory, the Philadelphia Clinic theory, and a lot of the, so we learned a lot of the same things. Now, he, of course, expounded on it tremendously, but a lot of those phrases are from that theory.
Having children comes up a lot. Is there a brief for that?
Well, there is,
Have
do
any
you
children?
have? I
Do you
mean,
have any?
yeah.
Do you have? Yeah.
Well, you could write do-you-r-n.
Yeah, because you have, do you have, is there a
D-O-D-A-O-U-R-N. I mean, it just, you know, you can make whatever is comfortable for
Yeah.
you. As long as you know, you can't make it on the fly necessarily, but if you have it, mark it down and then make up a couple of sentences using that word or that phrase. And then the next time it'll come up, you'll remember it.
I know in my old school, we always had do you have any children. It seems like that comes up like a lot. Is it just me?
No, it does. Those preliminary, they want to find out about you.
Okay.
Do you find as you move up in speed, because I'm obviously not there, do you guys? I don't hear the phrases.
Right.
So I'll catch
'cause you're behind.
and then it's like, oh, and
Well,
do y'all phrase a lot when you get into the higher speeds?
Well, you definitely hear the phrases more because,
Okay.
you know, I mean, when I'm dictating slowly, I try to put it together and then kind of have a little pause. And
Okay.
but in my opinion, you know, everybody's all worried about briefs and na. Phrases, man, learn those phrases.
The ones that repeat over.
That's,
Like for these Q&As, it's you got a lot.
yeah,
of
where do
state
you
your
live?
name, Where do you live?
ROIF or something like that.
Okay.
I can't remember, but
My name is.
yeah,
For the record, yeah. so you
yeah,
for the record,
those
yeah.
things. Could you
At the present
please,
time.
At the present time, could you
Mhm.
please? Okay.
what happened, tell us.
Yeah, as you get up, you'll hear them
Yeah.
frequently and you'll use
Is
them.
that correct?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I
the
find
important
myself when
thing
I'm
is
behind, I'm
not
just
to
like
go back
struggling.
and
I'm
put
not- yeah,
an
I'm
asterisk
struggling.
and cancel that and write it in.
And then when I'm on it, yeah, I do all.
Well, if you wrote at the time and you're writing at the, and then you hear a time and say, oh no, that's a phrase. And you correct it and you put at the phrase, that's
I
all.
like to put.
Oh, okay.
Just keep going.
Just keep going.
5 strokes.
Any more questions on this first page?
Miss, I do actually have one. I'm not testing at Q&A yet, but I want to start practicing it. I've noticed in Q&A, like when I do lit and jury charge, there's not a lot of dates. Do I need to start just on my own working on dates? Because I'm noticing in all these Q&As,
Oh,
you're putting
yeah.
up dates,
Numbers.
months,
There's-
Practice your
yeah.
numbers.
There is a folder on the website,
Okay.
on our homepage, for numbers and dates.
There's some number drills.
Okay.
Yeah, learn all your months, learn your numbers.
Okay.
Also practice your alphabet.
Mhm.
Because a lot of time, would you spell your name, please? And, you know, you can remember a sentence, but when somebody's rattling off all these letters, just like all these numbers, you know, you can't keep that train of thought like you can with a sentence. So what I used to do when I would practice is, before I would even start my practice, I would go through my numbers 1 through 100 and go through my alphabet.
Okay.
That was just
That was your
that-
practice.
because though, you know, you don't want to mess up on that stuff.
Okay.
That's real important to have the correct numbers and the correct spelling.
Okay.
Now you can always say, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Would you repeat how you spelled that? Never tell them to slow down. Say, I didn't hear you.
That's good, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, could you speak up and they
Uh-huh.
invariably slow down.
Uh-huh.
It was your fault.
Yeah.
Have you guys had a test here with the stitching yet? Because I don't even know how to do the stitching.
Yeah, you've got a good, you're using Stinnett?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got a good system.
Okay. So
Well,
you
now,
seen
you
it
have
on
to do it with
Genesis?
Eclipse. Aren't you using Eclipse?
No.
Oh,
See, I'm
Okay.
kind of on my own, and I've never stitched before, so I'm kind of like, I don't know if you guys do.
what
a lot
software
of
do you have?
Case Callus.
Grant's a case cows, right?
No, I'm ProCal.
Oh,
I'm switching to Eclipse, but yeah, I was looking in the Steadnet theory book yesterday because I'm revising a theory book that I've got, and I was looking at their stitching method, and it's really simple.
Okay, so it's not the program, it's actually, I need to look it up.
Is it
Or I
like hit
used
it
to
with an
just
asterisk
do
or
dash
something
and
that'll
write
make it
them.
stitch?
No, you use, like if you want to stitch S and T together, you write S as a capital S, and the T, you put T with RBZ.
Okay, but say I want to go like S, or not dash, S, I guess I really don't know, like if you want to do Steve and you want S, you know, probably a dash, but S dash.
Yeah,
Steve
I'll show you.
dash. Okay.
That'll be in a later chapter. Of course, May 25th, comma, and then the year. Ready? Turn the page. So are you all putting the semicolon here for the, in front of the, is that correct? Is that right? Yeah. Huh?
Said no.
Yeah, that's pretty standard.
Yeah,
Everybody do rollover as one word? Rollover? Now, if someone
I
tells
didn't
you
do
to
that.
roll over, that would be two words, but when your car
Kind of a spin and
experiences a
roll. Oh, I
rollover,
see what you mean here.
yeah,
Yeah, I didn't do it. Yeah, but it's right.
yeah.
Didn't think of that. Oh, you know what I was thinking of? It went into a kind of spin and rolled over. That's where
But it
that's
experienced
why I
a
didn't do it,
rollover.
yeah.
Yeah. And then here's another example, well, comma. It's like now, comma. Okay? Stella's looking.
What is, okay, that part that says, the rollover part, is an answer. You had to be going pretty fast in order to put my car into that kind of spin and, what was it?
Rollover.
Oh, it's the other one.
Yeah, one word. Now, in that kind of spin and it rolled over, then if,
That's it.
yeah.
I couldn't tell, I thought maybe I heard it wrong.
Well, even then, I don't know. I'm hesitant.
Who's got a dictionary phone?
I have one.
If, no. It's a rollover would be a one word, but in that sense, I still think it's two words because it put my car into that kind of a spin, and it put my car into a. No, it put my car into that kind of spin and roll over, but not roll over.
So if it rolled over, it would be two separate words.
No, I
right?
know, but I'm still not.
But that doesn't make
I'm
sense
not
how like
convinced.
just because it's a past tense, it's still separate.
Well,
So why
I see
would
what you're saying, Grant.
Oh.
It's not like a rollover accident where it's like an adjective. In this, it doesn't seem like that. A spin and rollover would be separate.
And it was almost like I heard the word "and to roll over," and "to" was omitted, so it's kind of understood to roll over. Anyway, you know, you're not gonna fail a test because of that, so don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
That's interesting.
Well, you might.
No, you could really argue the point.
I get what you're saying, but I do too, and I think it's
I think
questionable.
2 is understood, that's why I wrote 2.
Well, I think that's probably why they didn't grade us off on it, because you said you didn't get graded off, and I didn't.
Do you,
Yeah, I
yours
didn't
is
either.
in 2 words?
I used it as 2 words, and they didn't mark it off.
No.
I'm sure I have a dictionary in here.
Well, I mean, as a one word, it is a one word
Yeah.
in the sense of
Yeah.
worthing as a noun, but I still think that the word 2 is understood. It's like come here,
Let it spin and roll.
you know, instead of saying you come here, 2 is understood, and to roll over.
What if it was, put my car into that kind of rollover?
That's
That would be
different.
one word.
There, it's direct. But the word and, I can't, anyway.
Maybe
it's not-
and a rollover.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, we're gonna roll over this one.
Sorry.
Just leave that out. When in doubt, leave it out.
If someone ever says rollover, just be like, I don't write that word. It's too
Yeah.
confusing.
What's that song? Roll over.
Or Beethoven.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
I saw the Beatles.
roll over Beethoven.
64.
Oh, that's cool.
September
The Beatles.
I would love to have seen the Beatles
64.
back then. They're so cute.
I saved my stub and somebody stole it from me. I had the stub for like 20 years. My babysitter stole it.
And you know, of course, OK is never O period K period.
Wait, what did you say? I'm sorry. Okay, is what?
OK is always written out. Everybody has the brief first scene of the accident.
Yeah, but that's
Snacks.
about it.
Any questions on this page? Any questions?
I almost once during the test what did you mean by very sick? Very sick. I was going to put that in quotations, but I'm glad I didn't. But
I
when you
did.
know to do
I
something.
did.
You did?
Yeah.
I wanted.
Because it's repeating words that were asked.
And you weren't marked off for that?
I felt very sick. And I felt very sick.
Yeah.
So it's an actual quote from
What
a
did you mean
previous
by
statement.
very sick? Because he was repeating what he said. So I wanted to put it in quotations, but
I think
didn't.
that's,
It's just not necessary.
I don't think it's necessary.
So what if it was like, if it went on, like if he said, I felt very sick and I had to throw up, would you have done it then or no? Because then it's like a whole.
What do you mean by very sick and having to throw up?
Yeah. No? Okay.
Yeah,
So
I think
I-
it goes either way for me.
Yeah.
So you like he said, then you would be putting the quotes if it said, he said,
I mean,
she
you
said.
know, I would think if the attorney said, well, what do you mean by quote, really sick?
Okay.
You know, but it's not really verbatim or anything. I don't know, I just would not do it. I think it would just clutter it up.
Okay.
But, you know, do what your boss wants you to do is the main thing. this down here. When it rolled over.
Oh, rolled over.
There we go.
Because you could do roll over.
Right. Or maybe I was in the car when it had a rollover. Now I just say flipped. A rubber ball. Now remember we were talking about that yes, comma, sir, semicolon, I did? Well, this is correct here.
Is it a semicolon or a comma?
Semicolon.
It's a semicolon.
Why is that?
Because it looks good. Why is that?
I'll take that.
Well, it just continues the answer without making a new statement.
Okay.
Yes, sir, that is correct.
I mean, you could even, I think you could even go, yes, sir, period. That is correct, period.
Yeah,
Okay.
because the previous question ends with, is that correct?
Uh-huh.
So it kind of continues it.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's an opinion.
Yeah. Okay, I think we've gone far enough on this.
Yep, I'm done.
All righty.
I did
Now.
well on that one, it's just not well enough.
We don't have a must this week, correct?
We'll have one next week?
I think it'll be next week. So I guess it's time for the rapid read back.
Yes, and my girls are doing really good.
So we'll keep the camera on, but we can turn this off. Or do you need this projector?
No, but I guess you should change it so that it faces the chair.
Yeah.
Instead of the chair. Chelsea, is your phone battery good? Full? I forgot my phone. Maybe you could sit next to me and just do it. Yeah. You want these back, right?
Yes, please.
Brian, you're too organized. It scares me.
Huh?
No, it's
You're too organized.
Right. Yeah. And I think it's the even weeks.
It's hard. I know, I'm like,
Lights turn off.
After we're finished, this, I'll show you this. Am I missing someone? Who's not here?
Daisy's not here.
Daisy's not here, my partner, so I'm just me.
Okay.
And this was attached to my comments. So when I do that, I guess it's not.
I don't see the first one. Thank you.
Let that in my
Y'all want to move up? Excuse me. Yeah, well, we're not going to be as long.
Get to
Yeah.
work.
Yeah, we're not going to be too long today. What I'm going to do is have the team that did so well, I'll have them go last.
Oh, I was like,
So Chelsea and Rhonda, you'll go last.
Oh, no, so I'm first? Is the lowest team first then?
Um,
Me and Daisy.
Let's go with me and Yvonne first, I guess.
Well, we'll do Estelle and Yvonne. No. The second one is Caitlin and Brittany. You did well, and you came in second.
Oh, do you need our class?
So are we going first or are we going
Yeah, Caitlin and Brittany.
now, we need to get this watermark off.
I know, I don't want to do that. I was gonna freaking do it.
Or why don't we just do it in the order that
What you could do is go into the
Nope.
help
No, I want to give the chance to.
and
Sorry, the ones who did well, let them go first. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was like, why would we?
Yeah. I'm sorry, I messed
I was
that
so
up.
lost.
Yeah, my
Why would
apologies.
we do
My
that?
apologies.
and you go
We'll do it in the order of how they did,
watermark
okay?
level there.
Because they maybe had an advantage last week.
Okay, I will.
So it will be Chelsea and Rhonda.
Do I have everybody's tests?
Oh, no.
And I guess they turn this in, their must? No, this was,
You should have that through.
oh, that's week one, yeah.
Yeah, but it's just big.
Come back with the camera.
And if you type like this, you can have your
You'll be done by 11:30 probably.
Sure, I know I turned it off. I can just stop it at least. Go get you.
I think you just push that red button.
Okay.
to walk later in life.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, I think that the kid's like, okay. No, all I want to do is like loose things.
Is this yours?
That's just the camera.
Okay, so we have Chelsea and Rhonda. Since Chelsea went in that, since Chelsea went first in that team, we'll have Rhonda go first this time.
Okay.
And Chelsea will be second. Okay, let me get the app here and ready to go.
Let's do this.
Okay, you ready? Begin.
You will probably remember that at our meeting of a year ago, we drew your special attention to a very substantial increase in the volume of the business done by the company during the year that had just ended. We are therefore pleased to tell you that the business continues to show satisfactory progress even in these somewhat difficult times, and that we are today able to report still further increases both with regarding to the value of the goods sold and the amount of the net profit earned by the company. It is true that many customers are not spending as much money on their garments as they did a few years ago. They are finding that our lower priced articles of good value suffice for their immediate requirements, and here I may say that the development of our inexpensive sections for gowns, millinery, and mantles since the completion of our new building has been very remarkable. Another feature of the business is the increased purchases at our new suburban store, which caters to men's and boys' clothing only. We previously felt that the limitation of space was not only retarding progress, but was causing a slump in sales.
Holy balls.
Whoa! You beat yourself.
I couldn't do it last night. And
You
the day
beat
before. I kept
yourself.
stopping.
You
You
beat last
beat
week?
yourself.
Wow. That's
Good.
amazing.
From 77 to 73.
Wow.
Grant, I think I missed in here part of the sentence. So
Which
I'm
one?
just going to read what I have. I have in here, it says, even in the somewhat, and then I skipped, I don't know why, but then I had further increase.
Even in these where,
after satisfactory.
Oh, you missed the whole line.
Yeah.
Okay, we can't count it. It wouldn't be fair.
Well,
So, if you want to redo it, I'm going to explain something to Brittany after.
Do you want to read my notes?
Okay?
I'll read her notes. They're
Because
the
we're,
same.
we're both the same
They're the
theory.
same.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
You want-
Hold on a second. Okay, Chelsea, when you're ready. Okay, I know you've got a little disadvantage because they're not your notes, but since they're very close, do the best you can.
I'm really nervous.
You should be. That should be. Without nerves, it means you don't care. Okay,
Okay.
it's
You'll
really
do good. You'll do good, Chelsea.
You're fine. Ready? Begin.
You will probably remember that at our meeting of a year ago, we drew your special attention to a very substantial increase in volume of the business
Done.
done by the company during the year that had just ended. We are therefore pleased to tell you that the business continues to show satisfactory progress even in these somewhat difficult times, and that we are today able to
Report.
still further increase, both with regard to volume of
Value.
the value of the goods sold and the amount of net profit earned by the company. It is true that many customers are not spending
As much.
money on their garments as they did a few years ago. They are finding that our low price articles of goods value suffice if
For.
for their immediate requirements. And here I may say that the development of our
Expensive.
expensive sections for
Gowns.
millinery, and mantles is
Since.
the completion of our new building has been very remarkable. Another feature of the business is the increased purchases at our new suburban store, which caters to men's and boys' clothing only. We previously felt that the limitation of space was not only retarding progress, but was causing a slump in sales.
Very good.
Good. You didn't
great.
do as well as you wanted to, but
That's good, though.
that's okay. You didn't have your own notes, and it's
Yeah.
not really fair, because obviously you weren't able to practice it properly. I know, so now you know next week to just do a little bit more. You got it in 60 seconds, 160 seconds. So you went down, but that's okay. You were at a disadvantage. I wanted to ask you, you know what millinery is?
Millinery?
It's a hat store.
None of us know what millinery or what's a mantle, like a fireplace mantle?
Well, I should have looked that up too. I don't know. I'm thinking of mantles, but I don't think so. I think it had to do with something to do with. We're talking about clothing, and
What are those things that the men wear?
oh, it could be
Back in
something
the old
like
days,
that.
the
Yeah.
cummerbund thing?
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, cummerbund. The other thing is, I wanted to tell you in your notes. I don't know if you realize, but the word men's. How do you write men's?
I had a question about that, the men's and the boys.
Why is men's MEN apostrophe S and boys is POYS apostrophe?
Yeah, that's what I was just going to discuss. Men's, of course, it's the clothing of men, and it's the clothing of boys,
But it's multiple boys and it's possessive, so whatever.
and it's multiple men.
But wouldn't it be BOYS apostrophe?
No, that'd be
That'd be only
clothing
one
for a boy. We're talking
This
about boys
boy?
in general. The same thing goes for girls. Girls' clothing for girls. But what I want to tell you is that you don't, in your notes, need to put an apostrophe S for the word men's. If some of you are writing it that way, don't bother. Just put in men's plural and adjust your dictionary, because it'll never be men S apostrophe. Never. The same thing with children. Children's. Do it in one stroke, but make sure you just change your dictionary entry. It'll never be children's S apostrophe. Okay? Just a little trick that, you know.
Mantle is a Latin term for cloak.
There you go, mantle.
What?
It's a Latin term for a cloak.
Oh,
Yeah, I did look it up. I just forgot what it was.
it's an interesting spelling in Kislingberry, so I don't know if it's the same with y'all. So I felt like I learned something, because it's like, I would have never spelled it the way it's spelled if I
What?
just heard it. MA asterisk PBLGTS.
Yeah.
M-A asterisk.
PBLGTS is mantles.
Oh, well, I write mantle. NTLGS.
It's like the
NLGTS.
TLE ending is the.
Yeah, I write mantle, well, just as I put it in my notes. MANLGTS.
Yeah, that's, for some reason, we have an asterisk because MALGTS is, it's another word. It's a more
Oh, I
common
see.
word than mantles.
Okay.
But I wouldn't have,
Okay, cool. So let's go on to our second top
Grant,
two.
your hand up.
Well, my question was about that word with the M. How do you pronounce it?
Millinery.
Millinery.
Well, millinery. It's millinery. But, you know, by the time you say it quickly, and we need to learn how to say things quickly, because that's how you're going to hear it, millinery.
Millinery.
So you can put millinery. Okay,
That was-
just put it.
That was 3 strokes.
Yeah, I did research.
Okay. I was like,
You wrote yours in 3 strokes?
that's how Mark has it defined. MIL asterisk and RI.
I did M-I-L and then N-A-E-R.
That's what I did.
That's what I
just
do.
added it.
Yeah, no, that's what I do. I do it in 2, millinery. Okay? You're going to come across a few, but look at the suggested outlines, okay? And they give you a kind of a hint of how they're pronounced too
Yeah.
often. Okay? So we have Michelle and Regina. Regina, you're going to go first.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. Let me get this contraption going. Reset it. Okay, are you ready? Begin.
You will probably remember that at our meeting of a year ago, we drew your special attention to a very stable, substantial increase in the volume of the business done by the company during the year that had just ended. We are therefore pleased to tell you that the business continues to show satisfactory progress even in these somewhat difficult times, and that we are today able to report still further increases both with regard to the value of the goods sold and the amount of net profit earned by the company. It is true that many customers are not spending as much money on their garments as they did a few years ago. They are finding that our lower priced articles of good value suffice for their immediate requirements, and here I may say that that the development of our inexpensive sections for gowns, millinery, and mantles since the completion of our new building has been very remarkable. Another feature of the business is the increased purchases at our new suburban store, which caters to the men's and boys' clothing only. We previously felt that the limitation of space was not only retarding the progress, but was causing a slump in sales.
Cool. Okay, let's see.
Wow, that was good.
Yeah, you're working hard. Went down a bit, but that's okay. Good. You're not too far off from 98 to 125, so you decreased your speed.
I think what's important is that you can read it.
Yeah, I know, and what I'm trying to get you to do is to do it quickly, because those notes are going to transfer to your brain, and the speed at which you can think will increase. The speed at which you can think will increase the speed you write. You know, everything is transferable. You know, as you develop your speed is like a snowball, trying to build, rolling it down a hill, and everything you do along the way just makes that snowball bigger and bigger. So if you try and look at it that, each week you're going to get better.
I think it's good for reading. I'm agree, because we never read notes before. So
Yeah, well,
really
this is, I mean, it's great
interesting.
practice. It's great practice, but it's transferable. That's the important thing to keep in mind. Okay, let's go with Michelle. You're next. Let me just check this. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, begin.
You'll probably remember that at our meeting of a year ago, we drew your special attention to a very substantial increase in the volume of the business done by the company during the year that had just ended. We are therefore pleased to tell you that the business continues to show satisfactory progress, even in these somewhat difficult times, and that we are today able to report still further increases, both with regard to the value of the goods sold and the amount of net profit earned by the company. It is true that many customers are not spending as much money on their garments as they did a few years ago. They are finding that our lower priced articles of good value suffice for their immediate requirements. And here I may say that the development of our inexpensive sections for gowns, millinery, and mantles since the completion of our new building has been very remarkable. Another feature of the business is the increased purchases at our new suburban store, which caters to men's and boys' clothing only. We previously felt that the limitations of space was not only retarding progress, but was causing a slump in sales.
Great. 142. 102 seconds. You beat yourself. Oh, cool.
Good job.
Good job, yeah. Okay. Next in line are Caitlin and Brittany. Huh?
I'm just kidding.
Caitlin's going to go first.
Oh, okay.
I've had medical emergencies all week, so I haven't been able to practice like I wanted to.
She didn't practice it.
No, I did it, but I didn't. I've been a doctor's practice.
Yeah, I know. She, Chelsea didn't practice either.
Are you ready?
Way to call Chelsea out.
Huh?
I said you like to call people out, man. You're harsh.
Well, she knows you did.
No, I practice. I basically have I've had a very rough
First of all, I
didn't practice. I practiced out 5 minutes before class started and ended up reading somebody else's notes. So, just saying.
You did very good.
You did great.
Very good. And I told you you were at a disadvantage.
And
Just
it worked.
do your best.
And I have a sick dog. And I have medical emergencies too.
Are you ready?
All I ask is you just do your best. Okay? Are you ready to begin?
Yes.
Hold on a second. Okay, let's go. Begin.
You will probably remember that at our meeting of a year ago, we drew your special attention to a very substantial increase in the volume of the business done by the company during the year that had just ended. We are therefore pleased to tell you that business continues to show satisfactory progress even in these somewhat difficult times, and that we are today able to report still further increases of both with regard to value of the goods sold and the amount net profit earned by the company. It is true that many customers are not spending so much money on their garment as they had.
They did.
They did a few years ago. They are finding that our lower priced articles of goods value suffice for their immediate requirements. And here I may say that the development of our inexpensive sections for gowns, millinery, and mantles since the completion of our new building has been very remarkable. Another feature of the business is the increased purchases at our new suburban store, which caters to men's and boys' clothing only. We previously felt that the limitations of space of not only retarding progress, but was causing a slump in sales.
Cool. Okay, 120, 120.
We should snap instead of clap.
That's
All clappy. Like we're in the opera
Yeah.
or something.
Like when
When they did
L.
the jazz.
Wasn't that the pink lawyer, Reese Witherspoon?
Oh,
Yes.
Okay, that's our thing from now on, girls.
Jazz fingers.
Listen, I have to tell you that you're all, I know that, there's like 11 of you now, so we're reading it 11 times. But it has its benefit because you'll repeat it and you'll get it in your mind. If we were any larger, there's no way that, we could do this. But I think that our group is small enough that we can get away with each of you having a chance. What I want to do, probably, I might do it next week. I'm going to make 4 teams, 3, 3, 3, 3. And so you'll be responsible for 2 other, not just yourself, but 2 others.
I really can't hear you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we can't hear